Thank you so much for tuning in. You are watching What Matters Most, and I am your host, Heather Acker. What Matters Most is a local show here in St. John on Rogers Cable 10 that is all about interesting events, people, places that are maybe popping up in town or around town, a group that may need some awareness for fundraising, anything like that. So if you know somebody in your local area that would certainly appreciate some free time on television, drop us a line, rogerstv.ca. And without any further ado, I'd like to introduce my first guests. We have Ethan Zatt and Reese Van Beek. Welcome.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Heather.
How are you?
Good.
Good, good.
Pleasure to be here.
I'm really happy that you made it. I've been wanting to bring you on the show for a long time, and you are a busy guy. So I'm really glad that you're here. So Reese, you're an instructor with a program that I really feel is so valuable to the St. John community and the surrounding area. Can you give us a sort of an overall about what that program is and how it can affect our students?
Yeah, I'd love to. So we are from the Idea Center.
The Idea Center.
That's housed in Connection Works, the third floor of the Bell Lion Tower.
Okay.
And so we know each other well from working side by side with
Yep.
St. John's and the region's high school students. And this is a terrific opportunity for high school age students to really test their limits and see their potential. It happens during the school day. So it's a classroom outside their local high school that takes place in a real business environment.
Yeah, that's I find is really special about it. It's seeing those students come in, and Ethan, I'm going to talk to you here in a moment because you were one of the first students that were able to pilot the project. Do you feel that having the entrepreneurship opportunity within a business helps with the students' learning?
It does. So the great thing about entrepreneurship is that it's what you make it. You know, you can take your passions and push that idea and see where it takes you.
Yeah.
And that's what high school students want. They want to be making something. They want to be active and following their passion. And I've been teaching high school for 20 years, and since we started the Idea Center program 2 years ago, it's just terrific to watch students like Ethan just, take flight and try different things and have success and learn from failure and just really rock it.
Yeah, I love that.
There's been a lot of great experiences coming out of the Idea Center. I've been a part of multiple potential business ideas, and I've started up my own, and just being a part of an environment like that and being in Connection Works, a professional work environment as a student, it's such an amazing thing for a high school student.
Yeah. Do you find it that it's not intimidating or anything? I mean, when people say, oh, you're putting students in with businesses and other companies, you're not intimidated when you come in, because I can't speak for you, but when you come through the door. No
intimidation at all. Everyone's very welcoming and friendly, and it's a great environment to be in, especially because I now work there as an employee of a company called Brilliant Labs, out of the makerspace in Connection Works. So I was there as a student, and now I'm there as a worker. So it's a great community to be in, and it's a great environment, and it definitely does not feel intimidating.
Awesome. So Ethan, you've expanded on your career. So you're going to NBCC?
Yep.
And,
so I'm an ITPA at NBCC, IT programmer analyst. Sorry, and it's really great. We're learning a lot of skills and stuff there. So there's a lot of companies inside of Connection Works that also, I can look to after this program if I wanted to potentially work as a programmer and stuff. So yeah, I suppose you're kind of under their nose the whole time, and know that you're there with skills that they could pull on. So Reese, can you talk a little bit about the depth of your class? What does a day consist of in Reese's world?
Well, the thing there's three pillars that we find make the Idea Center really special, and it's a block of time. A normal class is 45 minutes to an hour, interruptions, announcements, bells. This is 2+ hours where students can really do a deep dive on their ideas, work with the people in the space and develop it. The second one is resources. We have partners like Connection Works and Brilliant Labs and Economic Development Greater St. John and their support. So when a student like Ethan has an idea, they can actually build it. This is not a theoretical project where students make up a pretend business plan. Their ideas are really happening in our community and actually beyond our community as well, because there's a program in the north at Miramichi on the NBCC campus. There's one in Moncton, also on the NBCC campus, and there are 2 other locations that are working to do this model where they take students and give them their curriculum, but they give it to them in a unique off-campus setting where they're surrounded by dynamic people.
Excellent. So when you say it's off campus or off school grounds, it really is. How do they get here? How do they get to your course?
Well, in St. John, there's transportation provided, so you can come from any of the 4 city high schools, KV High, Rothsay High, or even Hampton High.
Oh my gosh.
And beyond that, if you can't get here physically on a school bus or a city bus,
right,
you can take our program online. So anybody listening who has a child who is very active and likes to make businesses or ideas or charities or nonprofits or just movements,
right,
and wants some support, they can actually check out our website and they can enroll in our program and get course credit at their high school from anywhere in New Brunswick. And Stacy Wood, my co-teacher, we're a dynamic duo, and she will work with students online to develop their idea remotely.
That's amazing. So how many students have gone through the program roughly?
Well, we were a pilot program. Now we're getting close to about 50 students who've gone through, and it's exciting to follow them on their trails and see where they are. And actually, another huge thing that we're very proud of is that students who go through our program are very astute and keenly aware of the opportunities in the community.
Yes.
They don't. Survey I often do is how many of you think you might need to leave New Brunswick for a job? And I used to do this for years in the regular high school setting, and a lot of kids think they need to leave New Brunswick to find their opportunities.
Oh yeah,
I definitely did.
It's just crazy.
Yep.
And then once they realize how supportive and nurturing and positive that our New Brunswick entrepreneurial landscape is, I asked them again at the end of the semester, I'm like, well, how many think you might need to leave? And they look at me like I'm crazy because they don't remember like 4 months ago.
Yeah.
And they're like, why would you need to leave? You know, I might go on a vacation, but you know, there's
right,
jobs everywhere. So I really love that because as a parent, you know, I want my kids to know that New Brunswick wants them to thrive here and grow their ideas. And that's what we're trying to support.
I love the fact that you're really influenced by the business environment that you've created for these students. So they're building bridges and connections with your classes and with your individual students that take an interest in a direction or a theatrical way through their growth, really. So, for instance, like, did you always realize that you wanted to work with Brilliant Labs, or is that just something that was opportunity? And
that was definitely opportunistic. I learned of Brilliant Labs through the program.
Sure.
Brilliant Labs funds multiple entrepreneurial startups that like some of the students come up with. So that was like really important and really big. And just what the program gave to me, like in the sense of community, was like, so I didn't know what Brilliant Labs was, and I didn't know many of the entrepreneurs uptown and how entrepreneurial uptown was as well. So I remember one of the first things we did was we all took a big tour around uptown. So Reese would go in and be like, hello, you know, and speak to the owner, and then the owner would do a little pitch to us, and we got to really like understand like how entrepreneurial uptown is, and
yes,
understand what resources that we as entrepreneurs have, because like entrepreneurs kind of have each other's back. You know,
right,
it's a really great, warm community.
And we don't even plan that. We just go out and walk around
Yep.
and knock on doors, and people are like, yeah, bring them in here. It's terrific. And I have to
Love
give a
that.
huge shout out to yourself and Michelle Lodge, because really, you know, I was a high school teacher, and you ladies were like, you know what, let's try something new. And I'm like, really? You know? And you took a huge risk to bring our students out and give them that opportunity and give them a chance to shine. And not other communities I've heard of are not as eager to put their chips on their students inside school, yeah. But out, you know, elbow to elbow, showing them, you know, where they work and giving them that chance. It's really happening here. And Michelle Lodge and our local governors too, city councilors and the mayor have been in and really, you know, cheerleaded. But you and Michelle really took a chance. But when this was just an idea, and you know, knock on wood, things are going great.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, I think I always look at you take care of your future, and you are the future. You take care of them now, and they will take care of you, hopefully, so don't forget about me. But I do want to say with the difference in dynamics in the students, let's talk about that for a moment. You have students that have multiple businesses, like from everything from a t-shirt design to hockey opportunities with removing hockey tape in the use of hockey equipment. You have a web developer. You have skills right in with your students, don't you?
We do, and one thing I love, and we've really shifted a little bit towards the students' passions. And so like we have students not only who are developing products, but we have like Erin Cusack, who's graduated from St. John High now. She's still promoting her revisions to the parking regulations to make life easier for students. We have a young lady, Micheline, who's developing a website for victims of assault to make resources more accessible, like nonprofit ideas, charities, and social movements. And you just see students that just take it. They're coming in on PD days and snow days and weekends. I mean, I come in the other night and you were there. What time was it? Just working away on their ideas. So.
And it's really great because it gives you like a chance to meet, as a student, other students who are really into entrepreneurship.
Yes.
So my best friend, Joshua Lively, I met him through the program, and ever since then, we've just grown as friends and grown as entrepreneurs too.
Josh the Sauce.
Josh the Sauce.
Josh the Sauce, that's right.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I've had him on the show.
Oh, terrific.
Yeah.
He beat us to it.
Yeah. Well, he's a dynamic personality for sure.
Yep.
But I do know that he credits a lot of it to the Idea Center and being among a group of people that are like-minded as well. That's really important.
And just one other thing, I really have to also, I shout out to you and Michelle and so many others, but the school district, right?
Oh, gosh, yes.
Anglophone South and then the department and the online, the distance ed program, they've been really excited about this. And the school system gets a bad rap for being traditional and, wanting everyone to be in their boxes. They really don't.
No.
It's just that they have the system, they have to get a certain number of credits for there's a lot of restrictions that we forget that they have to operate inside of. And really the leadership at Anglophone South has been nothing but supportive.
Yes.
Just the other day we had a meeting and it was like all hands on deck. How can we get the word out? How can we direct market to parents to help them realize that this opportunity is there for their children so we can get more kids? And when you see students like Ethan and Josh and Yana and others who are just waiting for that opportunity to see what they can do, it just motivates me to try to really come on shows like this and recruit to get more kids to the Idea Center.
Yep.
Oh yeah, because I really see it's becoming almost an elite group. It's if you have an idea, if you have some passion, and you want to try it, your area is perfect.
You just have to be motivated. You have
Motivated,
to want
yes.
to do, we're not going to get you to do things. You have to want to do them.
Yep. Yeah.
And those are the elite kids that it's not about marks in school. It's about your motivation level.
Awesome. Thank you so much for being here today, guys. I hope that you get lots of signups for your Idea Center really soon. And good for you, Ethan. And thank you for coming on the show.
Heather.
Thank you, Heather. Thank you.
And thank you for staying tuned. I'll have Mary Lou and Gail up next with the Art Gallery in St. John. Thank you for staying tuned. I'm now with my second guest for this evening. I'm with Gail and Mary Lou. Hi, girls.
Hello.
Ladies. I should ask, so you're here representing...
The St. John Art Club.
Excellent. So why don't we talk about that a little bit? So the St. John Art Club, is there a new location to this? Or...
A new location
Yes.
In Brunswick Square at the second level.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if it's a second level Brunswick Square, is it beside, what's next door to
Paddington
it? Paddington Station?
Station is right
that
there
what it
beside
is?
us.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, we're right on the corner, very visible.
Okay.
A great location.
Used to be a card store way
Yes,
back when.
yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
So how many artists do you feature in there?
We have approximately 100 members, and each one of them is able to put 3 paintings in for a 3-month period. And every month we change out some of the paintings, and there's always such a beautiful variety of different types of art and different mediums, and we just love it.
Nice.
Just love the new location.
Excellent.
Yeah.
I noticed that we all dressed in blue. And
Yes.
especially you, Gail. Gail and I are almost identical.
We are.
With your people that, do you have volunteers that come in as well?
Run
that
by
are
volunteers.
Artists? Or do
Totally.
they have to be artists to be volunteer?
No. No.
But they're members. They're mostly
Most of them are
members of the
members.
club.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we have all levels of achievement, right from down from little beginners, young children who are starting, and we have their pictures framed and in our gallery and
Oh,
for
that's
sale.
awesome.
Yeah. And so we want to try to reach all levels of the art world.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. So I have been in a couple of times just to view the paintings that are hanging up on the wall.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure there'll be some photos that they'll put up as well. But I notice it changes often. Is that because pieces have been sold, or is it that you're switching them out?
Well, it's both. When pieces are sold, they're able to replace their pieces of art and bring another piece in.
Okay.
Now, every 3 months, I'm sorry, they're allowed to hang every 3 months.
Oh, okay.
However, we change out the end of every month, a few of them. So we always have new paintings every month in the gallery, which is
Okay.
really nice.
That is nice, because I didn't realize it was that changeable, like it changed that
Yeah.
often or that frequently.
Yeah.
So you can see some new art.
It makes it more interesting for the public. Everybody going by, they'll say, "Oh, you've got new paintings," so
Yeah.
they come in. Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's great for us for the business and everything. Yeah.
So how does somebody join in with the art club, gallery club? How can somebody get involved?
Membership is $30 per year, and they fill out an application form, and if they have paintings they want to hang, we have a waiver of liability for them to sign.
Okay.
And all that we ask is that they volunteer, help attend the desk at the gallery, as well as we have quite a few committees that they're able to sit on, and it's all run by volunteers.
Wow. Now, when you say committees, do you meaning like
Oh, there's
community or?
There's a membership committee.
Yes.
So
Okay.
Gail actually looks after the membership committee. There's the scholarship committee. We give out 2 scholarships every year to students.
Is that right?
That apply, yes. We've been doing
Okay.
that. The art club's been doing that for many, many years, probably from its inception.
Yes.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
and so, every year we give out 2 $1,000 scholarships. There's that committee, and there's a lot of work to that committee. There's the, what are the names?
events.
Events
Committee.
committee, special events. We've got special events coming up now. We're involved with the gingerbread trail.
Oh,
Yeah, the
yes.
gingerbread trail to Crosby Molasses. And then, of course, there's Uptown Sparkles is coming up. And
Yes.
yeah, so there's a lot to do. We have the newsletter. We have the newsletter. We have a girl that we do a newsletter every quarter. And it's quite an extensive newsletter, yeah.
Oh, okay. Now, do you have to be a member to receive the newsletter, or?
No, the
You-
newsletter is actually in there, and you can just pick one up.
Is that
They're
right?
on display at the gallery, yeah, we have. Yeah,
Okay.
So,
Very good. So do you find people are leaning towards any particular medium when they're doing their art?
The majority of art we have right now are done in oil and acrylic.
Okay.
However, we do have encaustic, we have watercolor, we have a good variety of different types of
Nice.
canvas art. Yeah, it's really exciting to go in there and see it. And I just, every time anyone mentions the gallery, I have a smile because it's just so bright, and the artwork just appears to be getting better and better all the time.
Hey, what do you think that is? What-
well, I think a lot of the artists that I've seen, anyhow, they've been painting longer, and they're just
getting
they're
better.
learning. Yeah,
Yeah?
yeah, and they are, and
right now we have some classes that are going on
Yes.
with
Oh.
regards to two-point perspective and that type of thing. Irene Yang is our instructor.
Oh, nice.
And we encourage the young people to come in. And after Christmas, I think we're going to have a co-op student,
Okay.
which is really nice. And we're really excited about all that.
Oh, yeah. So when you say you do classes, is there tutorials on how to paint, or is it, can you give a little bit more explanation on that maybe might draw some attention to somebody that's watching?
Irene has done 2 classes, and the first class was sketching and drawing, and now she's doing the 2-point perspective, and it's basically sketching and drawing, and it's quite complicated, but it's lots of fun.
yeah. And we have other artists who
Yes.
have shown an interest, artists in the club,
Yeah.
who have
Okay.
shown an interest in giving classes. So we're really excited about that.
That's really
and we
nice,
give
yeah.
classes usually on Saturday mornings.
Okay.
That's the way it's been so far. It can be any time. And it brings people in, people
Yes.
going by, they see this and they come in and they mingle. And it's, it's interesting for us and for the public to come in and see that. Also, a lot of our artists will paint while they're working. They'll
Yes.
bring, while they're,
Oh.
yeah, we have 5-hour shifts. We're open from 10 o'clock in the morning till 3 in the afternoon. So they'll bring their projects in with them and they'll paint.
Yes.
Yeah, for the
Wow.
public too, and it draws people.
Now, I
Yeah.
noticed that when you walk through your gallery,
Yeah.
there's a sort of a center table. Can you explain a little bit about that?
Yeah, well, you go ahead. Kate.
Well, many of the artists have decided to make cards and prints of their
Yes.
paintings.
Yeah.
So we sell a lot of cards and prints, especially to the cruise ships. A lot of the
Oh, yes.
passengers.
Very busy.
It's
Yeah.
easier for them to pick up cards and prints instead of
Sure.
paintings. So, yeah, so we do very well with that.
Excellent.
It's been very popular.
Yeah.
Very
Nice.
popular. Yeah.
Because I think the gallery used to be on the 3rd level, wasn't it, at one time?
Yes.
That was quite a while ago. I mean, I've been in
Actually,
St.
we
John a
moved
long
in
time.
February.
Oh, was it? Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
it
so
hasn't
wasn't
been that long ago.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay. I work in the building next to it, so
Yeah.
it's just, I see it often. But I always see people in there, and they're always enjoying their time.
Yeah, we're
And-
delighted on our location.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah, we're delighted with it. It's very visible. Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody that comes through there goes past our door, and a lot of people come in. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we've met so many people
Yes.
that live around there and come through the mall all the time. So they're
Yeah.
always waving and
Yeah.
saying hi, and it's really nice to be part of that atmosphere. You know?
Oh, yes,
Yeah.
yes, absolutely. You're right in
Yeah.
the traffic flow.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any local artists drop in that you know?
Oh, yes,
Yeah?
yes. A lot of different artists come in and have a look around, and I was talking to one the other day who teaches privately, and she said after Christmas she's thinking of joining us.
Oh, isn't that nice?
So it is
Yeah.
wonderful. And we have a lot of artists who have classes outside of the gallery, which is really
Okay.
nice too. So
Yeah, a few of our
Yeah.
artists now are quite accomplished
Yes.
in the
Yeah.
city. Yeah, they sell a lot of paintings through
Yeah.
us.
Is that right?
Yeah, and they
Yeah.
give classes outside of the gallery. Yeah.
Wow. And do you have one that's sort of a long stay, an artist that's been around that you could mention, a name that you've seen a lot of the work? Or do you have a few off the top of your head that you can name off
Well,
that are local painters?
yeah, Cheryl Robichaud, she sells quite a bit of paintings, and she is actually the secretary of the club.
Oh, okay.
Norma Ross.
Norma Ross.
Ross.
Yes,
Okay.
Ruth
Does
Sullivan.
watercolor.
Ruth Sullivan,
And
yeah.
Diego.
Yes, yeah. Constance Wooldridge. Yeah.
Okay, I'm not familiar with that name.
Okay, well,
But,
Constance always gave classes, and she still does. She gives classes once a week up at this church, what's the church on
Trinity.
Trinity Church? Is it?
Trinity
Yeah.
Church?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
That's, I mean, it's interesting because you have little pieces and you have big pieces. Do they ever teach oil painting, or is that something that's sort of a gone
I don't think
change?
it's gone. I think how it works is that if somebody wants to teach a class, they'll approach the board and ask the board.
Okay.
So I don't think anyone has approached them with regards to an oil class.
No, but
But it's
then that is
certainly
always possible, you
something
know,
we
in
can
the-
do,
because
yeah.
this is something we're building on right now.
Yes.
Right.
Is encouraging some of our artists to come in and give classes.
Yes.
Nice.
And so that is something that,
Yeah.
yeah, will probably happen next year. Yeah.
And we're
water.
posting more on Facebook, different
yes.
things that are going on
I
in the
always pull
gallery.
attention to that. So
Yeah.
Facebook. So
Yes.
your Facebook address would be
St.
St.
John
John
Art
Art Club.
St. John Art Club, which is perfect. Yeah.
Yes.
So talk about that for a moment.
Well, anything that goes on in the gallery, I love to post it. We were involved with the Children's Wish Foundation. We were one of the
nice.
stations for them when they did their superheroes fundraiser. And it was so exciting because they had to come in and dress up like Bob Ross and put the wig on. They had to watch a video. So we were all part of that, helping them set up and having a lot of fun with them.
Oh,
and,
nice.
you know, different things like that. We like to be involved with the community events and things like that. So,
Yes.
yeah, it is exciting. And usually if we have an artist who's sitting for that day or attending, I'll take a picture of them and put it
And
on.
post it.
Post on Facebook as artist in residence for that
Or
day.
Artist of the Month. We have
And we have
mentioned
Artist
that,
of the
yeah.
Month, yes. Artist of the Month.
Excellent. Excellent. So I could find all of this information out basically by joining your Facebook.
Yes.
And,
Yes.
then also dropping in,
Yes.
of course, because I always
Yeah.
encourage people to
Oh,
go
please
check it
drop
out.
in.
No.
And when I pass, I say, the front of the I call it well, you can't call it a store, but the part of the gallery, when I pass the gallery, I usually go upstairs and say, oh, did you see that? The giraffe?
Yeah.
You strategically put some pictures in perfect positions.
Yes.
It just catches your
A
eye.
draw.
Yes.
It's beautiful.
Yes. Well, thank you so much.
Yes, no, I
really
love
enjoy it.
So activities coming up, we'll just say for people to focus on, join Facebook group.
Yes, and we'll be posting Christmas activities with regards to Sparkles, St. John Sparkles, and we have the
Okay.
gingerbread trail.
Yeah.
And
That'll keep us busy for
it
quite a
will,
while.
I think
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, ladies, for being here. I will see you at the gallery.
Great. Thank you,
And
Kim, for
everyone at
having us.
home, drop into the gallery at Brunswick Square, second level. It's really beautiful. And please stay tuned. I'll be up with my next guests, Elaine and Dana, right after this message. Thank you so much for staying tuned. I'm now with my third guest for this evening. I have Dana and Elaine here with us, and we're going to talk some podcast information, aren't we?
Yes. We're excited to
We're
talk
excited.
about the podcast.
Thank you so much
well,
for
thank
being
you
here.
for making space for us.
Absolutely. Oh my goodness. The energy
the
with the three of us is going to be dangerous through this one, I think. But
That's okay.
It's all good.
It's all good. It's all
So why podcasts? What happened with this? Where did this come from?
Well, Soul Sister Conversation. So about a year ago,
Yes.
rolling up on a year ago, I asked Elaine out for lunch, and I said, Elaine, I'd really like to try this new podcasting medium. I thought about doing a blog and so on, but I consume a lot of content, and I like to do it easily. So in the car, so podcasts are easy to listen to on the go. So I thought Elaine is a good partner in crime because we have a lot in common, and so she agreed to do the podcast, and here we are. So we're 42 episodes in, and
Excellent.
Yes.
And it was one of those things that I think naivety, as Dana and I have said, got us into it because we really didn't understand how to do a podcast. So we knew what podcast sounded like.
Yes.
And Dana had a microphone that she got a couple years before for Christmas and said, okay, I'm going to unbox this. And like she said, I'll call Elaine because Elaine's up for those kinds of things. So she plugged it in, turned the computer on, and we started talking into the microphone. And it really was magic from the very beginning.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah,
that's
it's
so
a lot
cute.
of fun to do this, and we like to talk about. We call Soul Sister Conversations.
Yes.
And part of the reason why I want to have these conversations, I mean, I've written a book before called Soul Prescription. I like to talk about this sort of thing. So we have mind, body, and spirit, and we know what we need to do for our mind and speak, positively to ourselves, and we know what we need to do for our body. But what do we do to grow in spirit or in that area? And so a lot of our podcasts focus on personal development. So we talk to people from various backgrounds, whether it's business or we've had mediums on. We've even had an Oprah guest on, and and it's been fabulous. And so we have these soulful conversations, which it's about connecting with yourself.
Yeah.
Right.
And one of the really nice compliments that we had recently was our most recent guest was Michelle Hooten, who said, as I'm listening, it's like you're curating all of the amazing people that are in not only St. John, but in sort of the southern New Brunswick region.
Yes.
Because we've driven to Moncton and did a couple of episodes there.
Yeah, road trip.
We did a road trip, which was quite fun. But it really is, it's a curation of amazing people who all have a story that connects to the soul, like they are sharing, and beyond the surface conversation, we and right from the first question, Dana always goes really deep, and she's
It's like Periscope down. Here we go.
Periscope down. So we don't have like anybody can do the surfacey conversations, but we want to get to the heart and soul of why, who they are, and how they got there.
Yes.
Like that's what those
Yeah.
soulful conversations are for.
Because the surface conversations are, what do you do and how'd you get into that? But we ask about, how is that bringing meaning to your life?
Right.
What do you think about passion? And it's those deep questions, and we get some amazing answers. I mean, Elaine probably can attest to this as well. I mean, my life has been impacted this year just from interviewing the guests and having those conversations. We've had people on like meditation and yoga, Stephen Joyce from Amana Yoga, and I've been wanting to do meditation for a while, and so I've been able to start a meditation practice. And then we had someone on from Axel Gardens, Kim Osipchuk, who's talking about connecting soulfully to food. And so we have business people, and we're just, I know I'm learning a ton.
Oh, I've grown so much from this experience, and I am wanting to be a better Elaine. Like, how can I really connect more with myself? How can I be more healthy? How can I show up with more presence? In conversations with people and everyday life. So this, like having these soulful conversations, and not just with our guests. Dana and I, every once in a while, we'll just turn the microphone on, and the two of us will dish on whatever it is that's going on in our
hot
world.
topic in our
Right, and I've shown up at Dana's where
Nobody's safe.
I'm walking in the door and I'm like, okay, is the tea on? Because I really need to talk about this. And I'm like, let's talk about it publicly on the podcast.
Wow.
Yeah, we're not afraid to have those conversations, because I think that's I think that's the beauty of the podcast, is that you can really get to know people, and people are getting to know Dana and I through the podcast and what we believe in and how we're living our lives.
Right.
And it's those authentic conversations. We've had a number of people say, oh, do you edit them or script them? And I'm like, well, no, we run this thing, we flip on the mic and away we go. and it just happens, and the whole point is that we really try to make people comfortable. We get them talking about things that they like, early on in the conversations. And then you can always feel in the back half of the conversations the depth that comes into those conversations with our guests. So it's been an amazing experience in that way. So
Excellent. So can you share a little bit about who have been able to be your guests on your podcast? Because I noticed that it's not just women. You have a couple of men.
We have soul brothers.
We have some soul brothers in our community. We welcome them. And we're just really interested in speaking to people who have stories of transformation. We've had James Mullinger on, who is a well-known comedian in this area and getting across the country. And, he gets to speak about, he inspires us about how he sees this region.
Yes.
We need people from outside the region to come in and help us remember why we love it so much. And I mentioned earlier, we had Sister Joan Chittister on. So she was on Oprah Winfrey Show, Super Soul Sunday, twice. And she was a fabulous guest. The insight that woman has on advancing the cause of women and really addressing what's going on in her country right now in the United States. What are some guests that have stood out for you?
So
there's tons.
Michelle Hooten recently, go to the most recent one, and she talked about how her entrepreneurial journey started when she was 16.
Wow.
So what I love about the guests is the things that you don't know about them. Don Darling.
Yes.
Don Darling came on, and he shared some very intimate details about his own life and his own struggles with mental health. And so to me, those are the people who are in the most public spaces in our city.
That's
and
right.
they are willing to share some very intimate details of their life, and so that it will inspire other people to really think about how they can how they can live their life in a more mindful presence.
Yeah.
Just so impactful. So if I want to connect with you girls, the Soul Sisters, how do I find you?
Well,
We have a Facebook page.
We have Facebook, which is basically that is our busiest spot of where
That's
we
your-
engagement.
So
That's
it's
your platform.
at Soul Sister Conversations on Facebook. So that's our sort of our platform. We're on Twitter as well.
Okay.
But Dana and I each have our individual social media. So we use our social media networks to share that way. So and then our guests share, which is wonderful. We have a beautiful community of engaged people on our Facebook who come, when they after they listen to the podcast, like they are so grateful for the conversations and the sharing and that the connection. And it's not just soul sisters, as Dana said, it's soul brothers. Like it is a connecting of like-minded people.
Yes.
And I'll say there's always three things that I describe our guests, and it's warm, authentic, and vulnerable. And I know people kind of forget that the mic is on and we're asking them very personal questions. And
Yes.
but through, it's not to tell it for the sake of it, it's to learn through their eyes. And people are very, willing to be very vulnerable and talk about, their different mental health challenges and how they've overcome those. And that's the authentic connection. We can feel it, they're very at ease. So, and we have a lot of fun on the podcast. It's a high, it's an upbeat conversation.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you have music playing in the background, or it's just?
No, just at the beginning.
Yeah.
We're running on very rudimentary elementary skills.
Like I said, we turn the microphone on and off we go.
Yeah,
I
but
love that.
we're able to do it, very easily. The simplicity of podcasting these days, be able to communicate with your community, and one of the other things I think is important is we're women in podcasting. Now, some research that I've looked up in recent times said that about 22% of the podcasters are women. So we still have more room for more women. And that also represents the number of listeners. So even someone listening tonight may not realize, a lot of people don't know how to listen to podcasts. They're like, do I watch it? And no, it's an audio. Although we do record it for content purposes, it's an audio program. And you on Apple, there's an app called Podcasts. It's usually on your phone.
Okay.
With Samsung, I think you can download the Google Podcasts app, or there's probably one specific to Samsung. And so it's getting more people in that community because it's an easy way to consume content. And we need more women voices everywhere. And we need diversity, not just male and female, but our take on things are different than our male counterparts. And what we're talking about is not spirituality per se, but it has a spiritual undertone. So, we have a lot of business topics, a lot of business people that come on and talk about those. So it's just our take on it. So we're sort of proud to represent the female portion of that and to get more voices out there. And because the way we think is a little bit different.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Wow.
You can resonate. Well, you can resonate with that as
As somebody who sits at a microphone with people all the time, right?
Yes.
Everybody
So
has a
true.
story, and that's what I love about podcasting. It doesn't matter who you sit in the around the microphone with you. Everybody has a story.
Oh yeah. And the thing about working with live television, it can be very much direct because you never know where you're going to go.
Oh, yes. Or say. Sometimes you say something, you're like,
I can't take that back.
So, yeah, it's kind of interesting.
I
It's an
love
interesting
that.
experience.
I love that. So you have so much energy, and I can feel the energy with the two of you. It's amazing, and I am really excited for you both to do this. So where do you want to take this?
Well, it's more guests.
and we're heading into season 2. So
Awesome.
so we're wrapping
Yeah.
up our first season with Soul Sister Conversations, the podcast, and now we're looking at season 2. And it's like, do we need new pictures? What's going to happen, right? Like, what do we want to change, but what do we want to keep the same that is really working? So I guess that's like when you see a show in season 2, everything.
Yes.
It's
Right.
yeah.
Well, it's
analyzing it
that
all.
whole journey of learning it. Because when we first started rolling with this, it's like, okay, whoever we can get as guests, because we're going week by week. We're like, whoa, it's Sunday, we need a guest. And now we begin to batch them. So we're getting smarter at how to do this, make our lives a little more easy. And I think we're really looking at how do we do even a deeper dive, become even more specific in our lane. And we call it, personal development, spirituality. And it's having more of those soulful conversations about unearthing that which lies beneath in all of our lives. And, we all know people who are going through something. And we're always appreciative of someone who's willing to pull up a chair to our mic and tell their story so that, all of us may learn. So
Excellent. Excellent. Well, I'm really excited for where we are going to be with you in about a year, and we'll have you back. And who knows?
do a check-in, see
We'll do the
see what's
check-in.
happened.
We'll see what the Soul Sisters are up to. Awesome. Thank you so much, Dana. Thank you, Elaine, for
Thank you.
being on the show
Thank
this
you, Heather.
evening,
Wow.
taking the time to share this excitement and have people connect with you.
Awesome.
And you at home, stay tuned. I have my last guest coming up right after this message. Thank you so much for staying tuned. You are watching What Matters Most, and I'm your host, Heather Acker. And I'm really happy to announce that we have Robin and Tabrace here with us. Hi.
Hello. Thank you for having us.
Good, good. And, you look amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You now have a mind...
Yeah. Well,
We're the modern mind readers.
Modern mind readers.
Yes.
Now, I'm very careful trying to, okay, what am I thinking about? Beaches, yes.
White sand, beaches.
Do you pick up on people, or do you have to sort of, how does this all work for you?
Well,
not to give away your secret.
oh, no worries. Actually, that's
Okay.
an excellent question. Sometimes people get a little nervous when seeing a mind reading show.
Yeah.
They worry, like, oh my God, is he going to reveal my deepest, darkest secrets? Or, is she going to,
Yes.
tell them?
Tell anything that you're thinking, but no, it's nothing like that.
Yeah. It's, in fact, if you think about it, mind reading, like what we do, is a bit of a misnomer.
Okay.
What we do is actually pick up on your thoughts. So, it's kind of like transmitting via radio. So the simplest way to not let us know what you're thinking,
Yeah.
just don't think about it.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So like
Do you know what
Tabraze
I'm
and
thinking
I,
about? No, I'm just teasing.
color green.
Color green,
Yeah.
yes.
Tabraze and I actually came back from performing all around the world. So we just
Wow.
came back from a tour. We were in Los Angeles, Houston, Turkey, Pakistan, then back to St. John.
Wow.
So-
And you live in St. John?
Yes, born and raised here.
Born and
and-
raised here. That's amazing. And I think I know a little bit about you. You are school childhood sweethearts?
Yes,
we're
high school
Now,
sweethearts.
how did I know that? I must have read your mind.
Well, it says it right there, too.
No. Actually, it doesn't. I just learned that after my first guest. But that's really, really cool. So you've been doing this together for, you've been
Long
together forever.
Yeah, 6 years now.
Now, is it true what they say when you're with somebody for a long time, you can read their minds?
We
I
don't talk at home, that's for sure.
You
I
don't talk.
I don't get away with anything.
No? So what can people experience in your shows? And how do you do your shows? Do you come with stuff and set it up? Or how does this all work?
Not at all. We actually just walk on stage, maybe a few pieces of paper and your minds, and, away we go. So when you
Wow.
come to our show, what you can expect is just a lot of fun. It's all about entertainment. That's what we focus on.
Yes.
We want to make sure everyone on stage has a great time, because our show is very interactive. It wouldn't be fun if we just sat there reading our
Real.
own minds.
No, no, of
So we
course
want to
not.
read your minds. We want you to think of, and we'll give you ideas, think of these little crazy things here, and we'll try to pick up on that.
Yeah.
The highlight of our show is actually Robin. She'll be blindfolded on stage.
And he goes out into the audience, and I'm completely blindfolded on stage, eyes closed, and he'll pull out objects. People will take them out of their purses, their
Wow.
pockets, wallets, anything they have on them, and he just holds them up, and we just concentrate on them, and I can reveal what they are.
That's amazing. Now, I know you were doing something earlier as the other guests were on that was pretty interesting.
Yeah.
And they told me what you did. And I was like, how did you do that?
So she pulled, I think it was gum out of her purse.
Yes.
And I knew there was 5 left. She had 9 prior, and she
Yeah.
actually had 4 before she came here. And she's like, oh my God, I gave 4 to my family.
And then now we have, she had 5 left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. So what is your favorite part of doing
Of performing?
the performing?
Yeah.
Yes. I won't
It's-
say tricks because it's not really tricks.
Not
it's
really. no.
performing.
Yep. I think the best part is interacting with audiences and, seeing what people are thinking. Because, we do give out little ideas like, oh, well, think of this. And some of the answers we've gotten, just amazing. Some of them pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Especially when we do the thing with Robin being blindfolded. We've gotten everything from the most
Wow.
outrageous things to the most probably inappropriate things. But
Is that right?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Never ceases to amaze. But and actually in 2015 at the U.S. elections, he was able to predict that Trump was unfortunately going to be the U.S. president.
Is that
Yeah.
right?
And we've won a
Wow.
lot of local awards and awards around the world, but our biggest, funnest one in the city was the Fundy Fringe Festival. We were a 2017 fan favorite.
Is
so
that
it was really
right?
nice to be voted in by the fans themselves and
That's
close
really
to home, which was
fun.
awesome.
So when can we see you in St. John? When's
Yeah.
your next show coming up?
Yep, we actually have an upcoming show that's in support of mental health.
Okay.
February the 25th. We're
Okay.
performing at
Wow.
St. John High School.
It's a public event.
Yeah, it's one of
Oh,
our
nice.
one of our few public engagements, and we're actually performing with a very up and coming magician, Sawyer Stanley. So yeah,
Oh.
he'll be our opening act.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
Wow.
nice. We get to combine together and perform for mental health. So we've actually performed for Fortune 500 companies, the Alzheimer's Society, Dalhousie Medical. So it's so nice just to bring it back to home and
Yeah.
do it for mental health.
Wow. So how long does your show last for? Is it?
So our show is typically about an hour, hour and a
hour?
half long.
Okay. That would be, if you're doing a lot of mental thinking and figuring out, you'd be really tired by the end of that.
Yes. But we love what we do, so
Yes.
that's one important
absolutely.
thing. We're actually looking for sponsors currently for the upcoming show for mental health. We
Okay.
want to make sure 100% of the proceeds go back to the school
Excellent.
and to mental health itself. So we are looking for sponsors currently, and hopefully we can get a few before February starts.
Oh, that's fantastic. That's fantastic. So your crowds that you perform for, are they usually surprised, shocked, scared, amazed? What is the usual?
Amazed.
Amazed.
Amazed, like
With
just
fun?
awe.
Oh yes, it's normally gasp and then applause.
So it's really hard when you're blindfolded because I'm like, is anyone reacting? Because I don't hear it. All I hear is, and then no one says anything.
That's really neat.
Yeah, stunned silence.
It's
Oh my gosh.
wonderful.
So how did you learn, like, did you have relatives that were also entertainers, or how did
Well,
this
I'll
come
let-
all about?
I'll let
Yeah,
Robin
so
start.
for me, it started
Okay.
when I was about 7. I really felt a very strong connection with people. I could connect with you on a more personal level and just understand what you were thinking and feeling before I even met you. So it was
Wow.
just kind of amazing, and I always thought this was normal. And then when I met him, I felt this really strong connection. I've never met him before prior to this, and for you.
Yeah, for me, what it was when I was very young, I had dyslexia, or I still have dyslexia, and one of the things my teachers tried to help me was they would take me to the library and we'd just read any book that I picked. One day I just saw a book about the paranormal,
Oh,
and I
wow.
started reading about like Uri Geller, who could bend spoons with his mind, or people like there's a gentleman from India who could see without his eyes, and things like that. I was fascinated by that. And the little book that was there, it even gave like little exercises on what you could do to try to develop, being the ability to read minds. And
Right.
I was so enamored by that, so I just studied that for years and years, and that's where I am today.
Because you could perfect it. I know that the mind is an amazing organ, I guess. And well, I don't know what the statistics are, but I think we only use like 80% of our actual usage of opportunity. And so you've kind of refined or tweaked a little bit of a skill there.
Just a bit, yeah.
Yeah. And how long did you say you've been doing this?
Oh, well, professionally now for 6 years.
6 years.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So what kind of things do you work with? Do you work with cards, objects?
Nope, like I said, it's just the human mind,
The
right?
human mind.
Yeah.
So just people coming to the show, pulling out objects, maybe they'll draw a photograph and we'll be able to describe it to them, different
that
things.
right?
I know you brought something with you.
Yeah.
Here, I'll give you a quick demo, actually.
Okay,
So,
I like demos. Demos are good.
have you ever seen the movie Ghostbusters?
A long time ago.
A long
Okay.
time ago.
Yes.
Well, in the opening scenes, I don't know if you remember or not, but they had these cards, and each one had a little symbol on it. So, like we have the wavy lines, or the plus sign, the square,
Sure. Star.
star, and the circle.
Okay.
Right. And if you remember, he was like electrocuting the guy there. It was kind of funny, but the whole point. This was actually developed in the 1930s at Duke University to test the ability of telepathy. So
Okay.
instead of you and I doing something, we're going to actually try to connect you and Robin.
Okay.
Okay. So Robin, if you just close your eyes and actually turn just the other direction there.
Okay.
Excellent. And if just give those a shuffle.
A shuffle?
Yep.
Okay.
Just mix them up. Keep them down so I don't want to see what they are either. Excellent. And I'll
There
just
you
take
go.
those. If you could just take any one you'd like.
Well, I was.
Don't say what it is.
Okay.
And just, Heather, I want you to focus on the card. Don't say what it is, just look at it.
Okay.
I'm seeing I'm getting dark lines. But I see you focusing on a number. There's a couple here. Is this like 3 wavy lines?
Is that correct?
Is
Show
that
the
the card
camera.
you
I didn't-
showed?
Oh my gosh.
That's what you chose. Wow.
That is
And you
amazing.
could have chose any one of these, like I said, free choice.
It was absolutely free choice.
Here, let's
Oh
take
my
it
gosh.
let's take it one step further. Just keep your eyes closed again. And I see you have some objects down there. Just
Don't
pull
say what they
anything you want. Yeah, don't say what it is. Camera. Okay. Will you please go ahead and let me know what it is?
Okay, I'm sensing something to do with jewelry. Does that make sense? I'm getting like a little brooch. It's kind of like a brooch or a pin.
Not quite.
Concentrate to brace.
Go ahead. What is it?
Having a difficult time getting this one.
Okay.
But I see that, Heather, I know you're focusing on a different object beside you. I'm getting something kind of white. Are you thinking about that pen to the left of you?
Trying to trick us, aren't you?
She's
And
focusing on that.
Here, one last one for us. Write down a number here between 1 and a million.
Any number you'd like.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and just make sure Robin doesn't see it. It's fine if I see it.
My eyes are still closed.
Okay.
Now let us know the numbers.
Okay, I'm sensing something a little high. I'm getting a 9.
Yes?
Next.
Getting 9. Is it 99? It's a little bit longer. It's 999.
Yep.
Perfect.
That's perfect?
999, yeah.
$9.99. That it blows me away because we have, honestly, people know me and they say, oh, you guys might have planned that. That is not planned.
No, we
You
actually,
could have written anything.
That's amazing.
Yeah, we actually offer $50,000 cash to anyone that can prove we use any sort of secret electronic devices.
Oh, yeah. No.
Actors or anything like that, or backstage assistants.
Anything at all.
Yeah, anything
Yeah.
at all.
Oh my gosh. Well, I'm like, all I've been thinking about is brown eyes, brown eyes, brown eyes. I'm thinking, oh my goodness, because it would be really, I think your skill is just amazing. So let's talk about this real quickly because we have about 30 seconds or so left. Your next show is at?
St. John High, February 25th, in the St. John Auditorium in support of mental health.
Mental health.
Yes.
And the best way to follow you.
Yep. Our website, modernmindreaders.com. We're also on Facebook as well.
And to have you for an event, what's the best way to get a hold of you?
Website or Facebook.
Yeah.
Modernmindreaders.com.
So are you able to book ahead
Yep.
right into next year? And
Absolutely. We're actually just finished
Calendar's starting to fill up for January and February of next year, but we're always happy to look at the bookings.
that's awesome.
Thank you so much, Heather.
Thank you. I'm going to have you for my birthday.
Thank
you so
again.
much for being with me today, and I hope to have you on again.
Thank you so much.
In our future. And thank you to you at home that are watching. And stay tuned for us in a couple of weeks. We'll be back. But I would like to thank our Rogers TV volunteer staff and all my guests, the staff that are here at the studio, and you at home. Keep smiling and stay tuned for another show coming up.